What's up, guys? I am back here with another book review for you, banging them out really quick. Just getting through them all. Still have like 9 or 10 more to go of Iron Man. This one is volume 11, Duel of Iron, covering 1983 to 1985, and also Iron Man number, let me see if I can remember off the top of my head. Iron Man number 178 to 195, and annuals number 6 and 7. 2 annuals plus 18 more issues. So we have a total of 20 issues in this volume here. Prime 80s Iron Man, written by predominantly Dennis O'Neil or Denny O'Neil, and pencils by Luke McDonnell. So, when we last left our heroes, Tony Stark was in the midst of a relapse to alcoholism. And in this chapter, he's still knee-deep in the muck of alcoholism, the disease that is alcoholism. And it is not pleasant to watch, to witness, but it is pretty harrowing to see a superhero who, really, if you think about it, is a regular guy. Tony Stark is a guy. He has no superpowers. He's not a mutant. He's not a metahuman. He's not a god. He's not an alien. He's a dude. He's a guy with a lot of money who just happens to be incredibly smart and a cybernetics genius and an electronics genius. And he just happens to have this suit with all these cool gadgets and whatever. But he's still human, and he has faults and frailties and vices, and that being alcohol. And I think gambling too. I think he also has a gambling problem because he likes to go to Monte Carlo a lot. But that's not what this set of stories deals with. It's about alcoholism and the desperate lengths that one goes through when they're consumed by this disease. And it's really sad. I'm reading the stories and I'm like, why can't he's a superhero? Why doesn't he just ask for help from the Avengers or the Fantastic Four or somebody? And he just doesn't. And I think that's really good. I think it's very key that Tony deals with something that is, a prevalent and real problem in our world, not just in the Marvel universe, but here in our society. So, there's a very human quality to this series of stories, and just in terms of Tony going through what he goes through. Fortunately, by issue 182, so like about 5 issues into this volume, Tony finally breaks his habit. He in the middle of a blizzard, he meets this pregnant. Well, actually, no, not he knows this woman from prior issues, but at this point in issue 182, and actually the cover is really pretty cool. His gal pal, not his girlfriend, but his gal pal, who's like this gross woman, is pregnant, and she's an alcoholic, and she's about to give birth in the middle of a blizzard, and there's no hospital, there's nothing. Tony actually helps the woman give birth to the baby in the middle of a blizzard in a doorway. And sadly, the woman dies, but the baby lives. Tony suffers from frostbite or whatever. It's sad because Tony never does anything with the baby. I mean, eventually he'll kick the habit and become rich, and I guess he doesn't look for the baby or something. I don't know, but let me just see, page 139. Okay, I don't have my glasses or contacts, so I'm flying blind here, guys. Yes, I know, it's Magoo time. Yeah, this is the cover of 182 right here. Maybe you guys have seen it before, but this is the issue where Tony finally decides, you know what? I'm going to actually kick the habit and become not Iron Man. I mean, he has so much going on as far as his doubts and hesitations. But yeah, in the morning, Tony Stark will be sober or dead. Like, it just tells you right there as the reader that this is the moment where Tony deals with a life and death situation, his own and others. So throughout the stories here, of course, Rhodey is still getting the hang of being Iron Man. He ends up fighting the Mandarin for the first time with issue 180, 181. Radioactive Man before that in 179, who's actually a minion of the Mandarin. And he's my fucking Spanish neighbors. I fucking hate these people. Rhodey has to deal with the Radioactive Man. He has to deal with Mandarin. Later on, he fights Vibro. Vibro debuts. This dude, the Termite. I mean, a lot of B and C level shitty characters, but what are you going to do? I mean, Rhodey's just not a good Iron Man. Interestingly enough, Rhodey is suffering from headaches. At first, they think it's because the helmet is keyed into Tony's brainwave patterns, but that's not the case. Towards the end, all the way to the end of 195, Rhodey is experiencing mood swings, and he resents Tony, and he hates Tony, and he's just like fighting with everybody. Oh, by the way, Tony, Rhodey, and the Irwin siblings, Morley and Clytemnestra, decide to go west because now Obadiah Stane has attained Stark International. Now it's Stane International. So they go out west, start a new company. While they're going out west, they end up fighting the Zodiac, or at least not the full Zodiac. They fight Taurus. Actually, Rhodey Iron Man saves Taurus from another Taurus who's a robot. But then he's like, I got to kill Iron Man, Rhodey Iron Man, because he knows I'm alive and I can't have him know that I'm around. So Taurus has Aquarius and Aries to bump off Tony and Rhodey and they survive. They get to the West Coast. They're now in California, Los Angeles, or Silicon Valley. They build a geodesic dome where they build stuff for clients. They name their company Circuits Maximus, which isn't really good, but okay. So now they're on the West Coast. No more New York. Eventually, Rhodey joins the Avengers West Coast. In Annual 6, the very first story in this, which is actually this cover right here, Rhodey helps the Eternals fight the Deviants, which is a pretty interesting story. What else? What was Volume 7? Oh, not Volume 7. What was Annual 7? Annual 7, that's the one with Goliath. Eric Jostin, who can't be Power Man because Luke Cage is Power Man, so he decides to take, when Clint Barton was Goliath, he decides to take Goliath's name and hooks up with Dr. Carl Malus, gets his powers all big and strong, and he wreaks havoc on LA. So it takes Wonder Man, Hawkeye, and Rhodey Iron Man, because now Rhodey's part of the West Coast Avengers, to take him on, but he's so super powerful. He's super strong. He can grow big. It's a whole mess. And then eventually Tony, so Tony and Rhodey are butting heads. Tony decides to build a replica of the original clunky gray armor, and this is Rhodey over here. This is the cover to 192, by the way, of Iron Man 192. So they have a final duel of iron, in which, of course, Tony wins. But Tony doesn't want to be Iron Man. He's like, this is the reason why I became a drunk and an alcoholic, because of the Iron Man suit, and I don't want any part of it. Of course, he's eventually talked into helping out Hawkeye and Mockingbird. Around 193, 194, it gets to be pretty crazy. Vibro comes back, and of course he's defeated by Rhodey Iron Man. The Termite hangs around, he doesn't hang around, but he just shows up in 190, 191. Vibro comes back in 192, 193. 194 and 195. 194 was the one where Rhodey keeps falling into these bizarre dimensions to cure his headaches. 184, what was it? Hank Pym. He goes to visit Hank Pym. And Hank Pym's like, I don't know what your problem is, but we'll go to this extra dimension, extra, no, what the fuck am I trying to say? This parallel bizarre dimension. They're it's so fucking weird. Like this gunman is like trying to mug them, and then he gets sucked in with them into the dimension. Meanwhile, Tony's on a mission with Hawkeye and Mockingbird because Dr. Demonicus. There you go, Dr. Demonicus, who's in the Shogun Warriors series, has this big dragon monster fucking around with Tigra. It's really confusing. There's a lot that happens, but I don't know. Just everybody's everywhere. Clytemnestra and her brother Morley are just these geeks and nerds who are just around because their support for Tony and Rhodey. Oh, Bethany Cabe comes back, who apparently she's pretty big in volumes 8 and 9, which we don't have yet. The David Michelinie, Bob Layton stories. Who knows when that's gonna come about? We are gonna get volume 7 though, come June. But I would really like to read volume 8 and 9 because that's like, it sounds like that's like the Frank Miller Daredevil stories or the Claremont X-Men. Like this is, if there's a definitive Iron Man set of stories, it's the Michelinie Layton stories of the late 70s, early 80s of Iron Man. We'll see. And that's about it. 195 wraps up with Shaman of Alpha Flight, Michael Toon Young Men. Again, Rhodey gets scooped up into a bizarre dimension, and he has a talk with his soul, and it turns out that the reason why he's getting these headaches is because he resents Tony he resents himself for taking the Iron Man armor from Tony, which what happened when Tony was relapsing with alcohol, and I guess he felt guilty and whatever. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but you know, at one point Tony resigns Rhodey's membership as Iron Man, but then Hawkeye's like, you know what? We understand you don't want to be Iron Man, but could you be like our inventor? Because our team pretty much sucks. We've got all these new villains like Master Pandemonium and Dicklick motherfucker over here and Dicklick motherfucker over there, and they're just too powerful and we need you. So Tony's like, okay, I'll help you guys out and build whatever. Oh yeah, at one point we got the Brothers Grimm. The Brothers Grimm in 184 or 5. They show up. No biggie there. I mentioned Vibro, Termite. Yeah, so pretty substandard set of Rogues Gallery. Pretty lackluster set of villains for Rhodey. So it ends with Rhodey no longer Iron Man. In order for him to cure his headaches, he's got to give up his desire to be Iron Man, and he does. He's like, okay, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, to wrap up, guys, just to surmise, Tony's cured his alcoholism. Rhodey's no longer Iron Man. Tony's with the West Coast Avengers as a supplementary member, but not really like as Iron Man. He's just supplementary. What the fuck? Like a supplementary member just to design inventions for them. They're in the West Coast now in LA. Him, Rhodey, and the Irwin twins, or not the twins, excuse me, the siblings have their own business. And Obadiah Stane realizes that Bethany Cabe is back looking for Tony. Also 194, which I read in the Captain America Volume 13, the Scourge makes his first kill by murdering the Enforcer. That happens in 194. So that was pretty cool. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened. We're already in 1985, already the mid-80s, guys. I mean, it was like a week ago. I just started Volume 1 of Iron Man, maybe 2 weeks ago. And we're already up to the 80s. So that's pretty stellar. So there's no Volume 12 for whatever reason. We now are missing 4 volumes of the Iron Man series, of the first volume from 68 to 96. So we need volumes 8 and 9, 12 and 19. So I've no choice but to skip to volume 13, which is the Stark Wars. Okay. And of course, I'm sure you guys get the pun. Stark Wars, like Star Wars, but it's Stark with a K. Another early book. This came out, I think, 2015, because look at the font is very different. This is the new font of Epic Collection, right? And this was the old one. So this is an early book, first print. Actually, fun fact, guys, they just re-released this. This is the first print that I got. Was released on January 21st, 2015. Okay? Literally, guys, 10 years to the day this came out. January 21st, 2025, they released the second print of this. So this just came out. You should be able to get this in your comic book store. But that's so crazy. January 21st, 2015, January 21st, 2025, 10 years apart, the first and second print of this volume, volume 13, Star Wars of Iron Man. And this covers issues 215 to 232 and annual number 9. 215 to 232 of Iron Man and annual number 9. 1987 to 1988. I don't know if this has a Follow the Mutants or Inferno tie-in. Probably not. But it'd be cool if it did. So, yeah, guys, this is it. Star Wars. This is going to be the next volume, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, even the 13 here, that's an old font there. An old numbered font. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you've already read this, like I said, this just came out, the second print. This is the first print. This is a very, very old copy. Oh, it smells like ass. It smells so old, but I love it. Yeah, guys, this is a 10-year-old book. Look at that. But it's not the first epic. That's volume 10 of Iron Man. All right, guys. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments, likes, dislikes, subscribes, unsubscribes. I don't give a fuck, guys. But keep reading the epics. I read them so you don't have to, but I encourage you to read them anyways. Yeah, that's it, guys. Next book right here, Star Wars. I'll see you next time, guys. Bye.